There were a lot of players that gained a lot of respect during the NBA bubble in Orlando. Players like Jimmy Butler, Jamal Murray, Bam Adebayo, and Donovan Mitchell, to name a few. But there was another player that helped his team get to the NBA Finals because of his dead-eye shooting, Duncan Robinson. The threat of his shooting opened up a lot of opportunities for his teammates. His movement and quick shot release reminds you of another lethal shooter, Klay Thompson. Robinson is one of the league's best three-point shooters in just his second year in the league. Finding players like Robinson and Thompson is something GMs across the league are trying to do. There's a certain prospect that played at the University of Arkansas that could fit that mold. Sophomore guard Isaiah Joe. Initially, he announced he was returning for his junior year on August 1st, but in the span of 2 weeks he had a change of heart and has re-entered his name into the 2020 NBA draft. Mason Jones got most of the attention this season on Arkansas and was looked at as the team's go-to guy. Even though Jones was the co-SEC Player of the Year, Isaiah Joe is looked at as a better prospect, simply because of his size at 6'5" and his elite shooting ability. It's not hard to look at Isaiah play and not imagine him improving the team's offense because of the threat of his outside shooting. Isaiah has a silky smooth release and shoots the same way every time. As a freshman, Joe set the program's single-season record for three-pointers made with 113 while shooting 41%. He didn't shoot as good as he did in his sophomore season as he did in his freshman season, but there's still no doubt about his ability to stroke it from deep. When comparing three-point shooters in college, it's important to always look at the three-point shot attempts to evaluate how good of a shooter a prospect is and can be. It's more impressive if a player has a very high number of shot attempts and still maintains a good percentage. There's a lot of good outside shooters in this year's draft. Players like Marquette senior guard Marcus Howard, Vanderbilt sophomore forward Aaron Nesmith, TCU senior guard Desmond Bane, Villanova sophomore forward Saddiq Bey, and Stanford freshman guard Tyrell Terry. I believe you can add Isaiah Joe to that list of best shooters in the draft. Joe averaged 11 three-point attempts per game this season, more than any other player that I mentioned. Joe showed the lack of conscience that many NBA shooters need to thrive on the next level. There were times he went cold, but he also had incredible hot streaks that show NBA scouts how special he can be as a knockdown shooter. Joe had one of the greenest lights in college basketball, and with that he would occasionally take a lot of bad shots at times, which lowered his three-point percentage. He's a much better shooter than 34%. Being in a more structured NBA offense should help him take better shots, which will result in a better percentage. Despite missing 6 games in the sophomore season due to a knee injury, Joe still made 94 three-pointers in 26 games in his sophomore year. After returning from injury, Joe averaged 20 points a game on 35% from the three-point line. Arkansas was 19-7 with him in the lineup and 1-5 without him. Joe is known for his catch and shoot ability, but make no mistake, he can also get it off the dribble. He ranked in the 89th and 97th percentile shooting off the dribble in his 2 seasons in college. He can create space, he can quickly transition from dribbling to shooting, stays on balance, gets good lift, and shows great concentration as he releases with a hand in his face. Every great shooter needs great footwork. You need to be able to get off good looks consistently. When a great defensive team look at you as a great shooter, you need to use every advantage you can to get off a good look. Good footwork is something that Isaiah Joe has. The underrated part of his game is his defense. While he stands at 6'5", he also sports a 6'10" wingspan. His length along with his IQ and awareness gives him the opportunity to be a plus defender on the next level. He averaged 1.8 steals per 40 minutes and had a steal percentage of 2.5 in his college career. Much like Duncan Robinson, Joe really doesn't attack the basket. Only 6% of Joe's field goal attempts were at the rim. That's partly due to his lack of strength and explosiveness. Being only 180 pounds, he will have to add strength. That will not only help him be more confident attacking the basket, but also fighting for open shots coming off screens. I believe Joe has the opportunity to be a late first-round pick. Teams can never get enough shooting, and at the very least, Joe will provide any team with elite shooting ability who can also create his own shot from beyond the arc. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do it right now for future NBA content.